What wrapper class is? In Java, a wrapper class is a class that provides an object representation of a primitive type. It allows you to perform operations on primitive data types as if they were objects. Wrapper classes are important because they provide a way to convert primitive data types into objects, which is necessary when working with collections, as collections can only store objects, not primitive data types. There are 8 primitive data types in Java: byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, and boolean. Java provides a wrapper class for each of these primitive data types. The wrapper classes are byte, short, integer, long, float, double, character, boolean. For example, to add an int value to an array list, you must first convert it to an integer object using the integer wrapper class. Wrapper classes also provide methods to convert a string representation of a primitive data type to the corresponding object. For example, the integer class has a static method called parseInt that can convert a string to an integer. Example wrapper class in Java. Create an int variable int num equals 10. Convert the int variable to an integer object using the integer wrapper class integer num obj equals integer value of num. Use the integer object in a method calInt result equals some method num obj. Convert an integer string to an int using the parseInt method of the integer wrapper class string inster equals 20 int num equals integer parseInt inster. In this example, we create an int variable called num, which has a value of 10. We then use the integer wrapper class to convert num to an integer object called num obj. Next, we use num obj in a method called sum method, which takes an integer object as its parameter. Finally, we convert the integer string 20 to an int value using the parseInt method of the integer wrapper class. The resulting int value is stored in the int num variable. Regenerate response. Exception handling is a mechanism in Java that allows you to handle runtime errors or exceptional situations in a program. An exception is an event that interrupts the normal flow of a program's execution. When an exception occurs, the program stops executing normally and tries to find a way to handle the exception. Java provides a built-in mechanism for handling exceptions using the try-catch-finally block. Here is an example of how to use the try-catch-finally block to handle an exception. Try, code that may throw an exception; catch, exception type A, code to handle the exception; finally, code that always executes, whether an exception is thrown or not. There are 3 types of exceptions in Java. Checked exceptions. These are exceptions that the compiler requires you to handle. Examples include IO exception, SQL exception, and class not found exception. Unchecked exceptions. These are exceptions that the compiler does not require you to handle. Examples include null pointer exception, array index out of bounds exception, and illegal argument exception. Errors. These are exceptions that indicate serious problems that cannot be handled at runtime. Examples include out of memory error and stack overflow error. What's string manipulation? String manipulation refers to the process of modifying or manipulating a string in various ways. In Java, strings are objects of the string class, which provides a variety of methods for manipulating strings. Some of the common operations in string manipulation include concatenation. Concatenation is the process of combining 2 or more strings to form a single string. In Java, you can use the plus operator or the concat method to concatenate strings. Substring. A substring is a part of a string. In Java, you can use the substring method to extract a substring from a string. Case conversion. Case conversion refers to converting the case of the characters in a string. In Java, you can use the to uppercase and to lowercase methods to convert the case of the characters in a string. Searching and replacing. You can search for a specific character or sequence of characters in a string and replace them with another character or sequence of characters using the index of, last index of, and replace. Methods. Trimming. Trimming is the process of removing white space characters from the beginning and end of a string. In Java, you can use the trim method to trim a string. These are just a few examples of the many ways you can manipulate strings in Java. String manipulation is an important part of programming, and understanding how to manipulate strings effectively can make your code more efficient and easier to read. Regenerate response SQL pattern matching command. SQL provides 2 main pattern matching commands, like and regexp, or rlike. Like, the like command is used to match a string against a pattern. The pattern can contain wildcard characters like % and underscore. The % character matches any sequence of 0 or more characters, while the underscore character matches any single character. For example, the following query retrieves all rows where the value of the name column starts with the letter J, select asterisk from table underscore name where name like J%, select asterisk from table underscore name where name regexp, JJ, VV, How can find degree and cardinality in SQL? In database design, degree refers to the number of attributes, or columns, in a table, while cardinality refers to the number of rows in a table. Here are some ways to find the degree and cardinality of columns in a table. Degree. To find the degree of a table, you can count the number of attributes, or columns, in the table. In SQL, you can use the describe or show columns command to display information about the columns in a table. For example, describe table underscore name. This command will display a list of the columns in the table underscore name table, along with their data types and other properties. Cardinality. To find the cardinality of a table, you can count the number of rows in the table. In SQL, you can use the select count, asterisk, command to count the number of rows in a table. For example, select count, asterisk, from table underscore name. This command will return the number of rows in the table underscore name table. It is important to understand the degree and cardinality of a table when designing a database, as they can have a significant impact on the performance and scalability of the system. A table with a high degree or a high cardinality may require more resources to query and maintain, and may require additional optimization strategies to ensure efficient data access. What means select command? In SQL, structured query language, the select command is used to retrieve data from a database. The select command is followed by a list of columns or expressions that define the data you want to retrieve, and a from clause that specifies the table or tables from which you want to retrieve the data. Here's a basic syntax of the select command. Select column 1, column 2, column nfrom table underscore name. The select command can also be used with various other clauses and keywords to filter, sort, and aggregate data. Some of the commonly used clauses include where, used to filter rows based on a specified condition; order by, used to sort rows based on one or more columns; group by, used to group rows based on one or more columns; having, used to filter groups based on a specified condition; limit, used to limit the number of rows returned by the query. The select command is one of the most important commands in SQL, as it allows you to retrieve and analyze data from a database. It is used in many different types of SQL queries, including simple queries, complex queries, and subqueries. Regenerate response what mean group by and order by command in SQL. In SQL, group by and order by are two commands used to manipulate the results of a query in different ways. Group by, the group by command is used to group the result set by one or more columns. This command is often used in conjunction with an aggregate function like sum, avg, max, min, or count to perform calculations on each group. For example, the following SQL statement uses the group by command to calculate the total sales for each product category. Select category, sum, sales, as total underscore sales from sales underscore table group by category. Order by, the order by command is used to sort the result set by one or more columns. This command can sort the result set in either ascending or descending order. For example, the following SQL statement will sort the sales underscore table by the sales column in descending order. SQL copy code select from sales underscore table order by sales desc. This query will return all the rows in the sales underscore table and sort them in descending order based on the sales column. Both group by and order by commands are used to manipulate the results of a query. However, group by is used to aggregate data based on one or more columns, while order by is used to sort the results set by one or more columns. These commands can be used in combination to perform complex data analysis tasks in SQL. Many more important topics like where command update, drop, delete and difference, assign and relational operators, DML and DDL command difference.